What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Triple H caught in 4K being angry, every return at NXT Homecoming, fans call out WWE as WWE closed a major storyline, the truth behind the WWE exit, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's do the intro and get straight into our first story. Now, first story looks at Triple H caught in 4K. Now, our top story today takes a look at last night's NXT Homecoming show, specifically a moment between Triple H and Shawn Michaels. The Game and HBK kicked off the show and they had a spot where Triple H would act like he wanted to regain control of NXT. They would be interrupted by William Regal before Charlotte Flair stated that the women run NXT. HBK responded to this comment with a huge grin on his face. However, the Game looked legitimately annoyed. Fans have managed to screenshot Triple H's reaction on X, and it makes for interesting viewing to say the very least. Was this simply a case of Flair going off script and Triple H not being aware of Flair's remarks, or was the Game legitimately annoyed at the comments? Next up, every return at NXT Homecoming. WWE truly went all out for the NXT Homecoming show last night, and they had an array of returns on the show. The first being Triple H, as Triple H would kick off the show and he had a rather hilarious interaction with Shawn Michaels before a returning William Regal threatened to settle their argument inside War Games. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, the women's tag team champions, wrestled and defended their tag titles on the show, and they even cut a promo where they put over the former women of NXT, mentioning names such as the Four Horsewomen, Ember Moon, and Carmella. Shayna Baszler returned in a cameo appearance backstage, which certainly furthers rumors that Baszler could be taking on a producer role in the future. Carmelo Hayes returned to the NXT brand to team with his former best friend Trick Williams. DIY. Both members of DIY collided with Hayes and Williams in a fantastic match, and in a special treat, both members of DIY would bring back their classic solo themes, which naturally delighted the live crowd. The Miz. Now, despite The Miz not being an NXT OG, he interfered in the DIY versus Hayes and Williams matchup. Sami Zayn. WWE US Champion Sami Zayn would make a cameo backstage during a segment with Javon Evans. Weirdly, the crowd appeared to be muted during the segment. Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze's return to NXT was so impressive that fans are now actively pushing for him to return to the ring. Breeze wrestled NXT North American Champion Ethan Page on the show, and to say that the match delivered would be a total understatement. Damian Priest. Former World Champion Damian Priest took part in a backstage segment alongside Tavian Heights. Grayson Waller, the NXT 2.0 original, returned to the NXT brand to conduct business, as he hosted a very special version of the Grayson Waller effect alongside Obafemi and Ricky Saints. Bobby Roode. One of the more awkward cameos of the night came with Bobby Roode. Roode would return to the backstage segment and he would pause to acknowledge the crowd's ovation, but it didn't appear to be playing in front of the live crowd, so there was utter silence. This was a major blunder from WWE's production team, and Roode definitely deserved better. Finn Balor returned with his original NXT theme last night and he received one of the biggest ovations of the evening. Montez Ford appeared in a backstage segment towards the end of the show, and interestingly, he was without Angelo Dawkins, which furthers the rumors that the Street Profits are splitting up. Bianca Belair was shown in the crowd, and it was rather surprising that they didn't have the WWE Great interact with the member of the current NXT female roster. Lyra Valkyria subbed in for an injured Tiffany Stratton in the main event, and as expected, Valkyria did a fantastic job in the matchup. Rhea Ripley blew the roof off Full Sail with a pop last night, and it was made even more clear that Ripley is one of the biggest stars in WWE right now. And Stephanie Vaquer made her presence felt on the NXT brand during the main event, and fans were quick to point out how much chemistry Vaquer had with both Valkyria and Ripley. Due to WWE stacking the show to such an extent, it'll be interesting to see if the show is a rating success. Next up, fans call out a big problem. On NXT Homecoming last night, WWE would bring back several classic themes for names such as Johnny Gargano and Finn Balor. This led to fans urging WWE to take immediate action when it comes to Def Rebel. Def Rebel's WWE output continues to be lifeless and generic, and there's no signs that WWE are looking to distance themselves from their primary theme producers. It's even been widely reported that Def Rebel could be producing songs for UFC fighters, which is evidently an indicator that TKO are somehow happy with the work that Def Rebel produces. Theme songs aren't a priority in the modern era. It's a massive shame that TKO fails to realize just how much fans care about a wrestler's theme song. As fans have been pointing out on X, a wrestler's theme song is such a vital part of a wrestler's presentation, and this was on full display during NXT last night, as the use of classic theme songs acted as a reminder of just how good WWE themes used to be. Next up, WWE storyline, a long-term plan. Paul Heyman resurfaced alongside World Champion Seth Rollins for an interview on ESPN yesterday, and Heyman and Rollins managed to blur the lines between kayfabe and reality with this stellar interview. Rollins would discuss Becky Lynch joining the Vision stable, and according to Rollins, the plan has been discussed for a few months leading up to Clash in Paris. Oh, I mean, look, we are a force behind the scenes at all times, two of the greatest to ever do it in our respective divisions. You know, the time had come. The time had come. It made the most sense, and look, she's family. She's got my back, I got her back. I don't know if we've been working it up for a long time, but the conversations have been in place for many months leading to the moment. Heyman would then bring it straight back to kayfabe by stating that he masterminded the entire ordeal, and Lynch joining the faction was plan B. Alright, everything to do with it. I'll reveal it to you right now. It came together because of me. Would you like to know why? Because Roman Reigns choked my ass out. That's why. We had to go to plan B, which was plan Becky. You can't leave the champ out there all by himself. Now, it's unknown when Heyman is set to return to WWE television, but if he's actively appearing alongside Rollins in interviews, it's likely that he'll be returning in the immediate future. Next up, WWE wraps up a major storyline. LA Knight closed out Raw by leaving Jey Uso laying, and logic would assume that this would lead to a match between the two babyfaces, but that doesn't appear to be the plan. Following Raw on Monday, LA Knight would cut a promo where he stated that both men are going their separate ways, and the issues are resolved. I came out with the outcome I wanted, because I wanted that other little taste, that receipt you were talking about. Yeah, I got that back right there, dropping you on your head. And guess what, at this point, now we're good. Now we're even. Now walk off into the sunset, and I wish you the best. It's incredibly likely that both names are on the babyface side of War Games this year, and all signs are pointing towards a babyface unit colliding with the Vision in November. Next up, Bret Hart goes off on Triple H. Now, Triple H's #1 fan Bret Hart has once again taken a big shot at the head of WWE Creative. During his UK tour, Hart discussed the game, and he labelled him as a guy I had very little respect for, and he stated that he wishes that the game had been in the locker room when the Hitman knocked out Vince McMahon following the Montreal Screwjob. Hart would then add that the game has never had a good wrestling match, which naturally has fans talking on social media. Next up, a former WWE name buries John Cena's promo. Now, one former WWE star wasn't the biggest fan of John Cena's babyface promo on Raw. Former WWE Intercontinental Champion Lance Storm appeared on Observer Live, and according to Storm, it makes zero sense that Cena is still labeling himself as the last real champion.
I find the last real champion absurd. Well, it was a heel gimmick when he said he was going to ruin wrestling by taking the championship away so that it would destroy the lineage, ruin the wrestling business, and there would be no more real champions. And now, as a babyface, he's still claiming to be the last real champion. Like, that is completely insane to me.
Storm continued by saying that this also makes reigning WWE champion Cody Rhodes look weak.
The idea made sense when he was a heel and wanted to ruin the business. But since they're not even acknowledging that he was a heel that tried to ruin the wrestling business, what is the benefit of saying he's the last real champion? Is Cody not a real champion? I thought Cody was important.
A Storm has a valid point here. It doesn't make too much sense that Cena is using a heel catchphrase as a babyface, and it could be seen as him making Rhodes' WWE title reign look inferior as a result. Unfortunately, WWE have been making up a lot of Cena's creative as they have been going along, and there's bound to be logical flaws in Cena's babyface presentation, especially with the sudden switch up last month. Next up, Roman Reigns' Hollywood earnings. Roman Reigns is now branching further into acting. After he lost his title at WrestleMania 40, he disappeared from WWE programming for a brief period, returning at SummerSlam 2024, but during that time he filled a cameo in a movie called A Pickup. Now, the role was incredibly brief, but Reigns still earned somewhere between $500,000 to $1 million for that small appearance. Reigns is now set to start filming his role in the new Street Fighter movie, playing Akuma. Right now, it's unknown how much he'll be earning from that movie, but it's almost likely much bigger than his cameo in The Pickup. And finally, the truth behind a WWE exit. Now, Final Story today takes a look at the real reason for Samantha Irvin's WWE exit. Irvin exited WWE last year, and this came as a huge surprise to many, as there was no rumblings that Irvin was unhappy in the company. Now her husband AEW's Ricochet has discussed her exit during an appearance on Ariel Helwani's show. According to Ricochet, she felt stuck in the announcing role. I think she was just kind of felt stuck in this role. She was playing the role of a ring announcer, if that makes sense. I think she was always kind of wanting to go, and then I think once I finally departed, I think she just kind of made up her mind after that. Now, in relation to whether Irvin would consider signing for AEW, this is what Ricochet had to say on the matter. She probably would consider it for sure, but I think right now, she honestly is thinking about leaving and letting it be known for a little bit that she wanted to leave before I was even 6 or 7 months before I was leaving. She was already thinking about it. Not that she didn't like announcing, she loved the actual act and being in the front row. For her, saying someone's weight and hometown wasn't her dream, she made it obvious she wanted to do more. Irvin received acclaim for her performances as announcer, and she was widely regarded by many as one of the best ring announcers of all time. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.